Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneits Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. We have reached October 2020, the last quarter of this year. A lot of transit has occurred in the month of September, and the September was a power-packed month with almost every planet moving some or the other way. October will not see that big movement of especially the larger planets, but definitely Mars will make its move into the sign of Pisces just in the beginning of the month of October, on 4th of October. In middle, you will see that the Mercury is going retrograde and Sun is going debilitated in the sign of Libra. What this is going to bring for all of us, let us continue in details, ascendant by ascendant. This video is as per your zodiac sign. This video is as per your rising sign and not from moon sign. Because this is ascendant wise analysis, so you will see which is your first house. So once you put your date, time and place in a software and you get your horoscope, the first zodiac sign is your rising sign and that is your lagna. Then you have to see that particular part of the video. So if you are a rising sign Taurus, then you can jump to Taurus, and if you're rising sign Sagittarius, you can jump to Sagittarius. The timestamp is given in the description box and the pinned comment below. And do not forget to like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. If you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and you can watch IGTV videos, which has exclusive moon transit analysis that happens every second day. If you want to take my consultation, you can drop me an email. The email ID is in the description box below. So let's continue jumping directly into your ascendant. Ascendant number 1, Aries ascendant. Your ascendant lord is Mars. Mars in the beginning of the month of October will be inching towards the Gandanta point, and your ascendant lord will be crossing the Gandanta of Ashwini and reach the Pisces zodiac Revati Nakshatra. So what I see on the screen is that the Mars is already retrograde, and on 1st of October 2020, Mars is actually at 0 degree 48 minutes. So Mars has already reached Gandanta point. So the month of October will be an identity crisis. Take it in a positive sense. This is the time when you rethink about yourself, re-evaluate about yourself, and you dig deep into the past. Correct your past. This month is all about going back and rejuvenating, taking a big break, relaxing a bit, and not pushing yourself too hard. Not only that, what I see is Rahu is going to be in the second house. So definitely with the energies of Rahu, you may feel a bit insecure, because what is happening once the Mars goes into the 12th house, Rahu in the second house, your ascendant comes under Pap Kartari Yoga. Because of the Pap Kartari Yoga, you may feel choked, blocked, insecure, feared, scared, and you would want to take immediate steps to correct. No, wait, relax. Do not jump into any conclusion. Take your time to understand the situation and don't let your subconscious minds, deep, you can say philosophical thinking, come to the negative side. Think positively, think philosophically, but think positively. Don't think about the negative time. Don't think about the insecurities of life. Think what you can make the best with what you have right now. Or one more thing, Venus will be in the sign of Leo. So for the entire October transit, Venus will be in the sign of Leo. But once I see towards the end, Venus also moves and becomes debilitated. So your 7th lord becomes debilitated. It creates rift in romance, and you may have some issues in, relationships, talking to children, something related to love and something related to comfort of life. So take care of that. One more thing I see from the beginning, Mercury in the starting of the transit is in the sign of Libra, and then Mercury becomes retrograde in the 7th house. So definitely, and joins Sun. Sun also moves into the sign of Libra. Sun becomes debilitated. Sun is your 5th lord. One thing is definitely seen here is that it is difficult for people who have problems in getting childbirth, trying to gain access of the children's custody, trying to think about your productivity of life. This is the time when you have to re-evaluate that scenario and correct your approach somewhere. That will be the best thing that you can do in this month of October. Also, the Saturn is getting steadily moving ahead in the 10th house, good for career. Ketu in the 8th house definitely says that you are doing a lot for changing your life, good. Jupiter, however, is traveling smoothly in the 9th house. Go the dharma way. Try to donate to the Brahmins and try to do some havan at your home. This will do a great deal of change. This will bring a great deal of change in your life. And overall, what I see that for the Aries ascendant people, the time is turbulent. The month is going to be somewhat transformative. You may try too hard, but the work will not happen. People may promise, but they will not deliver. So the question about delivering the task becomes the biggest concern in this month. But overall, if you try to address that scenario, do not take any random haphazard decision and just go with the flow, you will see that you are doing great in the October month, and October month is kind of positive for you. The next ascendant is Taurus. You have already seen Rahu moving on your ascendant. Rahu is steadily moving in the first house in the Mrigshira Nakshatra. So definitely your mind is going, you are thinking about your identity, you want to transform, you want to explore more about yourself. It is the right time to learn a bit more about you. So you can talk to friends and you can talk to experts to tell you more about yourself that you cannot see by your own eyes. You need a reflection basically. During the beginning of the transit, the first lord is in the 4th house, quite comfortable beginning. But one thing you have to remember, when I was talking about Venus transit, Venus is in Magha Nakshatra and Venus is in the sign of Leo. That means you should not crave for the comfort. The comfort should come automatically because Venus is burning. So don't burn yourself while trying to attain comfort. For example, you have to do a task in a certain period of time, but you want to sleep. You don't want to go to office. You don't want to extend work hours for emergency situations. So that's where you are burning yourself, burning your time in order to bring comfort in your life. Just try to balance that, otherwise it can create problem. The other thing is that Sun will be in the 5th house in the beginning of the transit, kind of positive, and the Sun will go into the 6th house. So what happens in this case is that while all this month, the October month progresses, you may put yourself into a situation where you will be questioned because of your capabilities. The question can be raised on your abilities, and that can create some confidence issue in your life. Try to talk more about your issues, try to talk more about your problems, and try to donate to the poor people, to the education of the poor children, because Sun and Mercury will be in the 6th house. On the Ketu side, the 7th house is Ketu is in the Jeshta Nakshatra. This Ketu is not good for marriage, relationship, business, corporate. So whenever if you're having problem in these areas, just need to wait for some time. Let the energies get settled a bit. And Jupiter is in the 8th house, so definitely a good time to, being spiritual, investing into right areas, and not in the properties, because if you invest in the properties, you land up in the 4th house. But investing in the right areas is a good advice for you. Investing in a risk-free area where it's not like a stock investment or a strong high-risk investment, but more or less in a safer options. If you can invest, it will be good. Shani on the 9th house is gaining strength, and Saturn is going to bring a lot of stability in your destiny. So that part is very positive. Karma Lord is in the Dharma house, so that means you have to be very sure about your actions. Out of jealousy, you should not take any kind of action, and love should not convert itself into rage. You need to be devoted to God, you need to be devotional to the divine. And Mars will be going from the 12th house to 11th house. That means you can convert your losses into gains. So if you have some money that was at loss, you can recover that loss. If the money is stuck somewhere, you can get that money. Also, you will get long connections, long lost friends can get connected to you, and that's a positive side to it. So overall, for the Taurus ascendant, I see it's a positive time, but it's on the knife's edge. tread carefully. The next zodiac sign is Gemini. Gemini has seen the recent movement of Rahu Ketu out of the axis, so it's a relief for them. For the Gemini ascendant, Rahu is traveling in the 12th house, so here you have to, again, as I discussed in the Rahu video, you need to let go. I know it's the beginning, but you need to learn to release the negativity. You can take happy classes, you can take workshops that is available, that helps you heal your life, that helps you become more happy. You can enjoy yourself. Rahu in the 12th house is more concerned about the losses. He's very scared and he makes the person panicky, because Rahu is not the planet that would want any loss. So Rahu in the 12th house makes a person block everything, even the dirt, even the negativity, because Rahu does not let anything go out. If Rahu starts letting things go out from the 12th house, everything will go, because Rahu will explode. It's like a dam. There is a continuous accumulation of emotions, and one day the dam breaks and that floods the village. I hope that you would not want to do that. The first lord is in the 5th house. It's kind of positive. The Lagna lord is in the 5th house. It's a positive time to express. It's a good time for journalists. It's a good time for writer. It's a good time for poets. It's a very positive time for people who has something to do with information technology, communication, banking, finance, business. And this will also become more intense once Mercury becomes retrograde. So you have to be very careful about your productivity. So change the approach towards how you manage your life. Venus, however, falls in the 3rd house. I do see that the 12th lord is in the 3rd house, so you definitely want to sleep. You definitely want to take a rest. You can take foreign travel. You can take travel to long distant places. Try to be careful, because Venus is burning and Rahu is in the 12th. There is negativity there, a slight bit of negativity. So you need to be more careful in the travel. On the other hand, Venus will become debilitated towards the end of October, and it will be aspected by Mars. So definitely you may have some problem related to children, or there can be a fight in your home because of your children, some disturbance. You need to take care of your children's health. You have to always see them, where they are going, and you have to observe them. And those people who don't have children, they have to observe their own productivity, their own life's productivity, and you need to take care of your stomachs and gut health. And the sun also will become debilitated. So what will happen is that towards the end of October month, you may feel yourself that you are helpless. You did something, you said something, and now you can't change it. So in the first half of October, ensure that you don't do anything that becomes a liability on your head later on. Jupiter is steady in the 7th house, good for marriage. Saturn is steady in the 8th house, good for investments, good for learning, good for research. Mars is retrograde in the 10th house. That means there is a shift in career change happening. So if you are planning for a career change in month of October, it is good. Or a thought can come in your mind that will trigger something in your career. If you are having some problem in your career, if you are facing issues, if you are facing stuck-up situation, you need to take a step back, understand what is happening, contact an astrologer, contact a professional, contact a friend, whoever can help you, and by that you can address the situation at your career. Overall, it's a positive time, but I do see that the personal and the professional axis is kind of disturbed. It's one hand it's a retrograde Mars, on the other hand it's Venus. So what is happening is both the feminine and masculine energies are kind of screwed up, mixed up. So in that case, the personal and professional life will get mixed up, intertwined, and it will be difficult for you to segregate both of them. And especially at the times of work from home, it can create real trouble. So you need to define strict working hours and you need to define strict personal hours. And by that, if you go, it will be easy for you. Overall, it's a very positive transit because it begins with the Ascendant Lord in 5th house. Sun is also going pretty strong. I hope you make the best out of it. In the October month, what you should do is learn, uplift, and understand. Ascendant number 4, Cancer Ascendant. In case of Cancer Ascendant, your Ascendant is ruled by Moon. So first of all, you have to observe the entire Moon movement for the entire month of October. Depending upon the Moon movement, you will see that your Ascendant is behaving slightly differently, not in a big way. But overall, what I see is that Venus is in the second house in the sign of Leo. So your passion in your voice will be very high, very strong. But you should be very careful when you are delivering that passion, because then it can be taken in a wrong way. Then Sun is in the third house, so which shows that the power to execute a task will be very high. You will be very, very strong in your actions, in your courage, in your confidence. Mercury is also in the fourth house, aspected by Mars initially, because Mars is going to be in the sign of Aries initially, and then it will go to the ninth house. Overall, from the family perspective, it's going to be a good time. From the career perspective, it's going to be a transforming time. You would want to travel for career, you would want to change the destiny. So what it shows is that you can change the role in which you are involved. It can change the way you deal with your career. And you should, if you find a way to improve yourself, to upgrade yourself, you should take that chance. You should take that opportunity if you get any. Rahu in the 11th house also says that travel for earning can come. Earning can come from multiple sources. So if you want to expand your source of income, it's the right time, it's the right month for that. Saturn in the 7th house steadily balances out marriage, steadily balances out the emotional side of life. And it also is a very good time for business, for real estate business, for banking, finance sector. One thing is that after some time, Sun will become debilitated. So if you block your money into some assets, then you can find that suddenly there is a lack of money. For example, there is $20,000 in your account. You bought a home or something, a car or property worth $18,000. You thought that you will just invest all your savings into that, you will dump it, and that will become an asset. Yes, that will become an asset. But now you're left with $2,000, and now you have an economic crunch because you have blocked that amount. So in that kind of scenario, you have to be slightly careful. Don't block in that way. From the health perspective, this is going to be a better time, but you need to take care of your health, especially your sexual health and the health of your intestines, the large intestine. Digestion can be some issue. Do not eat any kind of tamasic food. Don't consume alcohol. And overall, this seems very promising month. This seems very positive month. There's only one thing that can make or break the situation. What are you committing? Your commitment should be done very carefully, because if you commit something that you can't do, then you will be into a big problem. Otherwise, this month is going to be a very positive month for you. The fifth ascendant is the Leo ascendant. In case of Leo ascendant, Venus happens to be in your first house, and Venus controls your 10th house as well as the third house. So the parakram, the confidence, and the karma is more creative. So you should be more creative about yourself. You should treat yourself with good clothes, perfume, decorate yourself with good character, good ambience, good aura. Meditate, and you will also see that you will radiate the beauty, you will radiate the passion, and that will attract a lot of people. On the other hand, Sun, which is your Lagna Lord, goes into the second house. It is in the second house. So for the first half of the month of October, it will be more concerned about what you have and what you are. And on the second half of the October, it will be more about what you can do and what you cannot do. So this is how your month will shift dramatically. So if you have to adjust your karma, you have to adjust your life in this way, then initially you should think about what you have, what resources you have, what you can do, and that means your quality, the do's and don'ts, the good and the bad. And on the second half, you should be more worried about what you can do. Next, what I see is that Rahu is in the 10th house, and definitely in this case, karma is going to be a big issue, because Rahu can create troubles or conflicts with the bosses. Rahu can create trouble for this particular month with your supervisors, because in the second half, Venus becomes debilitated in the second house. When Venus goes into the second house, Sun is already in the sign of Libra. So there are two planets, your first lord and your second lord, that goes debilitated, as well as your career lord, 10th and the third lord goes debilitated. So you have to be very careful from the career perspective. Career wise, this is not that great or promising. That means it will be slightly uncomfortable. Someone can poke you, someone can talk behind your back, bitch behind your back, and that can put yourself in a kind of a spot. So you have to be very careful on that particular part. Mars in the 9th house goes into the 8th house, That means you need to learn scriptures. And if you're facing any problem, you need to resort to Bhagavad Gita. You need to resort to scriptures. You need to resort to the modality of the life where you are more spiritual, you are digging deep. And you will find refuge in the abode of Vishnu. So you need to chant Vishnu Sahasranam, Vishnu Shodashnam Stotra. And if you don't know anything, a simple Om Jai Jagdish Hare, an Aarti of Mahavishnu, that will do. But that devotion is needed in this case. Why that devotion is needed? Because your ninth and the fourth lord, the comfort and the dharma, is going in the 8th house. That means those are getting transformed. Destiny is getting transformed. From the home front, you are getting transformed. This means that some values from the home will be derived and you have to work on that value. Also, it means that there can be a quarrel with your father-in-law, mother-in-law. So you have to be careful on that front. From the in-laws family perspective, from your own inherited money, that can create a rift in the family, that can create fight between brothers. So there is where you must look into with great care and precaution. But overall, for the Leo ascendant, it's a very strong transit, and I hope you make the best out of it. The next ascendant is Virgo. In case of Virgo, Virgo will observe the 12th lord in the first house. So definitely here, there is a great relay of information from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind. You have to see who is talking behind your back, who is giving you the information, who is giving you the tits and bits of information that you are trying to, relate yourself with. This also means that you would have some desire to go into distant places, or somebody from a long distant place can come and meet you. And Sun in the first house is more about personality development. So you need to think what resource you have for yourself. What are you good at and what are you not so good at? You should explore on the positive areas, and you should, for now, work positively on the negative or the weaker areas. But you need to really build the strong foundation from the areas which are positive in this case. Lagna Lord is in the second house, so it's kind of a more balanced. So you will find yourself with available and abundant resources, but you may end up spending more. Venus is in the 12th house, you may end up spending more. You will feel like shopping is a thing that will give you relief, but that's not true. If you're spending on your life partner unnecessarily, that also you have to stop. And this is not the right time to start any relationship. Otherwise, the partner cannot be. It may be a possibility that the partner that you choose right now at this point of time can be slightly negative for you. On the other hand, Jupiter is in the 4th house. 4th house Jupiter is kind of relaxed. 4th house Jupiter is kind of positive. So you will feel happy. You will feel the sense of power and sense of authority, as well as the sense of reliability will come into picture. Saturn in the 5th house is kind of moving steadily, so it shows that you will, and Ketu in the 3rd house. So Ketu 3rd and Saturn 5th house will make you a more introvert. You would not want to talk more, you would not want to express, and whenever you will express, it will be fragmented, people will not understand you. So this is the point of time when you become your own guru. Counsel yourself at this point of time, because 8th lord is also going in the 7th house. That means some turbulent times in marriage. So be very careful, or suddenly you can find somebody and get married, or suddenly you can decide that you want to get married at this point of time. Whenever the question of marriage and relationship comes into picture in this per month, you need to be careful. From the health perspective, anxiety can be a big problem. Lack of sleep can be a big problem, and overexertion of mind can be a serious issue here. So you need to work on that. And because Rahu in the 9th house is going to change the belief system while you hold onto your traditional values, and that can create rift, that can create contradiction in your life, that can result into stress, tension, anxiety, nervous issue. All these things can be mitigated by simple meditation. So I hope this transit is going to bring you peace of mind and happiness, and you hope that you make the best out of it. Ascendant number 7, Libra. If you are a Libra ascendant, you will see that your ascendant lord is actually in the 11th house. So the start of the transit, start of the month happens with the ascendant lord being in the 11th house and Mercury being in the 1st house. So You are more concerned about what you can gain and what you can lose. So this can make you greedy. This can make you jealous about somebody else doing fine compared to your life. So you have to be very, very careful in that area. You should not let that kind of emotion come in your mind. Otherwise, it can convert into a bad decision, a bad karma. Sun will be in the 12th house, and the 12th Lord Mercury is in the first house, and the first Lord Venus is in the 11th house. So there is a circuit formation between 1, 11, and 12. So your gains and your losses. So the month starts with concern. What I can gain, what I can lose. So it's a confused state of mind. On top of that, Ketu in the second house will you would want to invest somewhere, maybe in a business, maybe it's an investment of emotion, maybe it's an investment of money. But that's where the dilemma is: should you or should you not? Whether it will give you profit or it will give you loss. The best thing is just wait for some time, because Sun will become debilitated and Venus will also become debilitated. Not only your 11th Lord becomes debilitated, your first Lord also becomes debilitated. So you have to be slightly careful from that part, because the decisions that you make in the start of the month can actually go wrong towards the end of the month. Next, what I can see is Jupiter is in the third house, which is kind of good. Jupiter in the third house is making you understand about your growth, understand about your progress, and you would want to teach, you would want to preach. So for teachers, for preachers, for people who are counselors, this is a very good time. Saturn in the fourth house forming a kind of a Shash Yoga aspecting the first house. It's a very positive time. But this again makes you slightly uncomfortable. You have to come out of the comfort zone in order to get the best out of this month. Mars being in the 7th house goes retrograde, falls into the 6th house. Now that's where your greed, your concern about or obsession about self can land up into a troubled marriage, troubled business partnership. You can lose people's faith. So this is the time when you serve the people. Mars in the 7th house goes into the 6th house. You need to serve the people. You need to serve especially the people who are fighting for the country, who are the law enforcement agencies. If you find somebody in those kind of people in need, do your best. Give whatever you can, either a moral support, your presence, physical presence, so that you can give them some help or some financial support. Whatever you can, you should do that. Rahu in the 8th house, however, can bring some troubles, because Rahu in the 8th house is very, very mysterious. It can give you the notion of great wealth, and it can give you an idea of a business which can give you a lot of success. 7th Lord being in the 6th house, Rahu in the 8th, while the ascendant is trapped between profit and loss, it's a kind of feeling that you will feel that you can be entrepreneur, you can quit the job, you can follow your passion. These are good, but you need to have a very careful analysis. October is not the month for this. You need to wait, you need to understand the situation, understand your caliber, your capacity, and then according to that, try to execute the task. Don't go overboard. Saturn won't let you. But you have to quit the comfort zone, that's for sure. Because towards the end, the ascendant Lord becomes debilitated into the 12th house. So don't take any decision that rips off your sleep, that rips off your comfort, that rips off the romance and the love from your life. Your actions can create disturbance. So you need to be very careful what you are doing and what you are talking. Ketu in the 2nd house can create sharp edged words. You have to be very careful, because words once spoken cannot be taken back. Be polite, be confident, and be patient. This month is going to be a very, I will say, life-changing month for you. Ascendant number 8, Scorpio ascendant, Vrishchik Lagna. You have Ketu in the 1st house, Rahu in the 7th. So definitely obsession towards marriage can increase. Your self-identity can reduce, because your ascendant Lord is also retrograde. It's going on the 5th house from the 6th house. You would desperately want to have the company of somebody. You would want to be seen in the public. You would want to do things for other people. But in order to do that, are you giving away your self-confidence? Are you giving up your self-esteem, or are people ripping you off? That you have to be very careful. So trust becomes a big issue here. You would definitely not want to be in a situation where you lose trust and you start doubting everybody. So that is something that you have to be careful. Saturn, the third house Saturn definitely says hard work is there. Second house Jupiter definitely says expansion of wealth is there. The 11th lord is in the 12th house at the start of the transit, which shows expenses, especially medical expenses. You have to be careful from the health perspective. You have to be very proactive from the health. Do yoga, go to the nature, do trekking, walk a lot. This will help you. From the transit end perspective, from the end of the month of October, what I see is that Mars is well placed in the 5th house, whereas Sun and Mercury falls into the 12th house. 10th lord in the 12th house, this shows that from the career perspective, you will be slightly unhappy. You will have a lot of tension, anxiety, and you would want to undo something. So this is not the time when you put yourself into a situation where you have to actually undo. Be careful, be slow, be calm, and when you are doing things, especially from your career end, take everything into consideration. Consequence before action. Overall, I do see that this transit is kind of more practical, more transformative for you, but the month of October can put you into troubles, and while you are in trouble, you will learn from your mistakes. So this particular month is a month where you learn from the mistake. You fall down, you get up, and don't be disheartened, because when you learn from the mistake, this Saturn and the Jupiter increases wealth, increases the capacity that your presence in the world is increased. People will admire you. You will become role model. So something has to be done in this particular month that you can become the role model of yourself. Rise in your own eyes, and that is what the October month is telling you. Overall, what I see is that the 7th and the 10th lord is getting debilitated, so career is going to be a problem. But apart from the career, what I see is that the feeling of content, satisfaction will come. That means something you will do towards the end that will actually satisfy you, that the turbulent time is over. So in the entire package, if I take the entire month as a package, the ending is good. All's well that ends well. This month is going to be very, very informative for you. Sagittarius ascendant. In case of Sagittarius ascendant, what I see is that the Jupiter is in the first house. The month starts with a very positive, strong Jupiter, which you are taking command of the situation. Saturn in the second house, stable situation. 10th lord being in the 11th house, kind of positive for your career. The fate lord, the Bhagya lord, which is called Sun, in the 10th house, again a very powerful position. However, Mars in the 5th house is going in the 4th house. It's not that bad. 5th lord going into the 4th house, aspecting the 7th house, 7th and the 10th house. Overall, for Sagittarius, October month is going to be very positive. All the planetary positions are in sync with your horoscope. It's quite positive. You will feel powerful, you will feel empowered, you would want to do things, you would want to change things. But first, stabilize. First, before jumping and accelerating, see if your brake works. Stabilize, do POCs, and take baby steps into action, because Jupiter has just come out from the clutches of Ketu. And don't forget, your ascendant is in Pap Kartari. That's not going to change. So there has to be a restricted movement, but a gradual movement. Take an example of a train. A train is restricted to the track, but on that track, if the train follows the properties and the rules of the motion, the train can run at a very high speed, almost equivalent to a plane. All you need is a better track. So if your track is better, the train will automatically run faster. So that you have to focus on the process. Ketu in the 12th house can make you a bit nightmarish, and that can hurt your sleep, that can in turn hurt your health. So you need to take care of your health. That is the only thing. Rahu in the 6th house can bring out hidden enemies, and suddenly you will see all these people popping up from nowhere, talking against you. They are showing their true faces in front of you. Don't be surprised, because that is what is bound to happen, and that is good for you, because that will put you into a situation of command, that will put you into a situation of control. Overall, the first lord being in the first house, and what I see is that the 9th lord becoming debilitated in the 11th house. The only drawback is that you may feel that you're not doing enough the way it should be done. So for example, say for a student, if he's studying physics, if he's studying the physics, the chapter will be completed, but at the end of the month he will be like, I need 2 or 3 revision. It was not done to perfection. So don't seek perfection in this particular month. Just execute. Because the moment you execute, you will see that the situation becomes very positive for you. Things becomes very true to nature. And Jupiter automatically controls Aries and the house of Leo. So you don't need to worry on any ground. Jupiter in turn will control and pull the horoscope from the darkness. Just pray to your Guru and just pray this: Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Deva Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Just the prayer to the feet of Guru, and you will see the month passing with flying colors. Ascendant number 10, Capricorn Ascendant. Capricorn Ascendant will see Saturn well placed direct, because just before the October, on 29th of September, Saturn goes direct on your Ascendant. So Saturn will be kind of stationary when the October month begins, and that means you need to have patience in your life. Things will start slowly becoming positive for you, but for that you need slow and gradual movement. Do not stop, because stopping can turn yourself into a stagnant life, and that can create a lot of problems. Rather, you need to keep moving, you need to keep walking. However small steps you take, you keep walking, keep moving. Also, what I see that the 12th house has Jupiter, so definitely the help will come from the unexpected areas. There is always a power behind you working in your favor. You will see that power working. The right time to diversify, right time to change the job, right time to change your career if you want. Towards the start of the month, what I can see is that Mars is retrograde in the 4th house, going into the 3rd house. That means you are not happy about something, and then you would want to do something to bring the change. Now, this can be an emotional, you can say impulsive decision. Don't do that. I know Saturn has been quite unruly on the 1st house, but now Saturn will bring in discipline. But to have that discipline, the Mars must take the dip into the divine waters of Pisces. So Mars means your energy, your happiness, the way you want to have gains, and in order to bring that, you need to transform the way you take your efforts, the way you approach things. And this needs more acceptance, because Pisces water or Piscean water accepts everything. Next, what I see is Rahu is in the 5th house. 5th from Saturn, Rahu will always think about productivity. So on one hand, life is stuck on something, it's slowly moving. On the other hand, the Rahu in the 5th house will make you think, why are you not getting the output? So don't be concerned about the output, rather focus on the process. If your process is right, your output will definitely come. Venus in the 8th house, this can create lust, this can create the desire, the passion for the opposite gender. You have to be very patient here, you have to be as per dharma, and do not cross the boundary or cross the line here. Investment of or a career change can be done in this case. You may have this feeling of doing some risky investment, some investment into stocks. You can do, but be very careful about the outcome. Be very careful about the process, not the outcome, sorry. Because if you think that investing this can give you loads and loads of money, then it can backfire. But if you follow the process, that if my process is right, maybe not today, but in the long range, in the long term, this will give output, then that decision will be correct. 8th Lord in the 9th house definitely shows that you will have spiritual pilgrimage, spiritual association of people like astrologers, healers, and you should take healings also, or at least learn one healing process if possible. Mercury in the 10th house definitely shows that your gyan, your quest is converting into your knowledge, and your knowledge is converting itself into the karma. It's kind of positive, and by the end of the month of October, what I do see is that your 8th Lord becomes debilitated in the 10th house. That means you are doing the best that you can do in this time frame, and with Mars heavily progressed in the 3rd house, this shows that you have already given up on lot of factors. You have already shed off the ego. You are already in a very serene and positive situation. Ego is bad. Maintaining or protecting self-esteem is what you should do. Overall, this is going to be a very rejuvenating month for you. Ascendant number 11, Aquarius zodiac sign. For Aquarius, the Saturn becomes steady in the 12th house. Now you can feel the calmness in your life. The positivity will come. The necessary change will come. The task that was stuck for so long will now slowly unfold itself in your favor. This is a positive time, and you have to take control of the situation in a way that you do not spend thinking about the events and the future throughout the night. Try to be in a relaxed way. Try to walk a lot. Saturn in 12th house says walk a lot. Work towards what you can let go. Because when Saturn is in the 12th house and Saturn becomes direct, you will automatically understand what will be left with you and what will be not with you. Mars is in the 3rd house. Definitely it is trying to hold on to situation, but then this Mars goes into the 2nd house, which shows that the value system is going to change. You have to change the way you think about life. You have to change the way you talk. You have to change the way you project your identity. On the other hand, you also see that as soon as the Mars goes into the sign of Pisces, your ascendant goes into Papakartari Yoga. So on one hand it's Mars retrograde, on the other hand it's Saturn forward. So retrograde Mars is pressing towards Aquarius and the direct Saturn is pressing towards Aquarius. So these both are pressing the Aquarius hard way. You have to choose between maybe a couple of options. So you will always be on a crossroad, and then you have to choose what's best for you. In order to choose what's best for you, you have to think back, because Saturn is in the past, in the 12th house, in the subconsciousness. Go back in the subconsciousness, check your dreams, what you always wanted to do. Depending upon that, make your conscious selection. Rahu in the 4th house is definitely making you slightly uncomfortable and greedy towards happiness. That's okay. You should go for your happiness, but then don't try to be too materialistic about it. Ketu in the 10th house shows career change, job change, loss of job in certain situation. That is, you also have to understand. But Jupiter in the 11th house is protecting it. So even if you lose a job, even if you have this kind of news that you are losing your job, don't be afraid, because Jupiter in the 11th house will give you another opportunity, a better opportunity in fact. Venus at the start of the month is in the 7th house, not good for marriage, because this Venus is hot. This Venus is burning, and in the 7th house Venus becomes the karaka of marriage. So at that point of time, Venus becomes very impatient, very touchy, and very sensitive about all the marriage-like scenario. So you have to maintain a lot of patience at that point of time. Venus will go debilitated. That means you will have to think very practically about your marriage rather than emotionally. Sun is going to go in your 9th house along with Mercury, so your belief system is going to change. So overall, what I see from the horoscope is that you are kind of trapped in this situation and you do not have much of the free will to act, free will to move. But if you actually plan everything out, if you see that there is a dedicated path given to you and you simply walk that path, you will find it very easy to progress ahead. You will find very easy to march ahead, and then you will get the very progress that you are craving for. Ascendant number 12, Pisces ascendant, the final ascendant. Your ascendant lord is going steady on the 10th house and your income lord is going steady on the 11th house. It's like a blessing for you. It's like a beautiful time for you. The both earth and the karma, that means the 11th and the 10th, are becoming very positive for you. Good time to think about earning more. Good time to transform your career. Good time to bring stability in your career. So career is something which is very positive. Rahu in the 3rd house will make you think out of the box. And when Mars is in the 2nd house, when it goes on the 1st house, after 4th of October, you will work towards yourself. So it shows personality improvement. It shows you are growing overall. It's a very beautiful time. While Venus is in the 6th house, shows disputes with females, female bosses, disputes with people who are from the creative field. So if you are in the creative field, if you are in a field related to Venus, you need to be slightly careful, but nothing to worry. Overall, it's a very positive time. Sun is in the 7th house, so definitely you will get help from other people. You will have this bright light shining on you. And Mercury is in the 8th house. Mercury is 4th and the 7th lord, so suddenly marriage can come. Suddenly you can meet your life partner. Something positive about your business or comfort or home can come into picture. You can invest your money into planning your marriage. You can invest your money into buying a home, buying a property. So overall, it's a very auspicious moment. I don't see anything negative about the Pisces zodiac sign, at least from the transit perspective. Obviously, your Dasha, Mahadasha matters a lot. So you can start a business, you can start a marriage, you can initiate marriage. The only thing what I see is that expenses has to be controlled. That is one area that you have to be very careful, and try to donate medicines. Try to help people who are sick, because Venus is in the 6th house. Sick animals. Also, you can help anybody who is suffering from anything, and you try to give them relief of any sort. That will be the biggest karma for you. October month is a complete thumbs up for you, and you will see the best output, provided your Mahadasha permits in this case. But overall, it's a bright sunshine. And what you should not do is create enemies out of jealousy. So guys, that was all about 12 ascendants. I hope you liked the video, and if you liked the video, do not forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified when I upload such videos. Follow me on Instagram for IGTV moon transit videos, and on Facebook for more updates, for Twitter for quick tips and quick bites. And if you want to take consultation, drop me an email. All links are in the description box below. So let's meet in the next video. Till then, this is your host Punneit. Namaste.